Guys, good evening to everyone. We will be starting in a little while. Call all your friends and ask them that the meet has started and they can attend. Hurry up, guys. Call up your friends. And is there anyone who can speak that how they are feeling about the event? Are they excited? How much excitement? Anyone can please unmute yourself and speak. Okay, at least you can put in your chat box like how, hello, hi. You can do interactive sessions now. We will be starting in just 2 to 3 minutes. Oh, hello, Vinayak. Hello, Namrata. Oh, so first year students are, it's a stress relief for you. Yeah, I hope it will be really that. So we're excited. Hope you will get all the information you needed. And great to see you guys here. Uh, so can we start? Raj, so can we start the workshop?
Yeah, sure. Um, yeah, we can start.
Geetanjali, can we start, bro?
Good evening to one and all present here. Welcome to the Blockchain and Self Sovereign Identity Workshop. We're here today to explore the fascinating world of blockchain technology and its application to self sovereign identity. Before we dive into this exciting journey, let us begin with a quote that sets the tone for our discussion. The future of identity is not about what we store, but how we interact. Truly inspiring words that reflect the essence of our workshop today. To commence this event, I would like to invite Shreya to deliver the welcome speech. Shreya, over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to this engaging workshop on blockchain and self sovereign identity. We appreciate your presence and enthusiasm. Special thanks to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Raj Patil, for sharing his expertise. Today, we will explore how blockchain revolutionizes self sovereign identity. Your active participation will make this workshop a success. Let's begin this transformative journey together. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya. Now, I would like to invite Krishna to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Raj Patil. Over to you, Krishna.
Good evening, one and all. It is my utmost pleasure to introduce to you our remarkable speaker for today's event. With an unwavering dedication to advancing the field of self sovereign identity and a genuine passion for building user centric system, our speaker is at the forefront of transformative innovations. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Raj Patil, a distinguished developer advocate at hypersign.id. With an extensive background in SSI and a deep understanding of decentralized identities and verifiable credentials, Mr. Patil is a driving force in the exploration and research of these groundbreaking technologies. As an enthusiastic engineer, Mr. Raj Patil is devoted to pushing the boundaries of what is possible in the realm of SSI. His relentless pursuit of knowledge and his commitment to staying at the forefront of innovation have led him in de- have led him to delve into cutting-edge concepts such as DID-COM, zero knowledge proofs, and identity wallets. By studying these emerging technologies, Mr. Patil aims to empower individuals by providing them with the tools to take control of their identities in a secure and user-centric manner. In his role as a developer advocate at HyperSign, Mr. Raj Patil is actively engaged in bridging the gap between complex technical concepts and practical solutions. He works diligently to create a tangible and impactful implementations of SSI, driving the adoption of these transformative technologies across various industries. With his wealth of knowledge and expertise, Mr. Patil is here today to share his insights and experiences with us. His presentation promises to shed light on the latest innovation in the SSI space. We can anticipate a thought provoking session that will inspire us to envision a future where individuals have full control over their digital identities. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Raj Patil. We are truly privileged to have him here today, and we eagerly await the enlightening and inspiring presentation he's about to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna. I kindly invite Mr. Raj Patil to share his valuable insights on the topics of blockchain and self sovereign identity with us.
Uh, Hi guys, very good evening. I hope I'm visible also, and thanks for the warm welcome. I really appreciate the enthusiasm here. People have joined, and uh, they're really excited to part of this workshop, and you know uh, excited to learn about SSI. So um, before we start, I actually how many people have joined with the like laptop or the mobile? So if people are joined with the laptop, just raise your hand in the chat. Like in the reaction, you can. Okay. Okay. So yeah, yeah. Okay. Many of us, many people have joined with the laptop. So why I'm asking, because you can do the workshop with me on the laptop easily. So that's why I asked. So anyway, you can watch later, video and try it yourself on the YouTube. Um, okay, I will start again with the presentation. Let me share the screen. I hope my screen is visible. Are you able to see the slides? Can someone tell me?
Yes, sir, the slides are visible.
Okay, fine. Okay, guys, welcome to the self-sovereign identity workshop. My name is Raj. I work as a developer advocate. I work across Web3 and DIDs, and I'm passionate about SSI and user-centric systems, and spend my free time in traveling and watching movies. Uh, so before we start, I just want to start with a few questions. Um, So, what identity is, you mean like you can take a moment and then try to put your thoughts and just say whatever comes in your mind. Uh, can you tell me what identity means to you? You can try it in the chat also, or else you can unmute yourself and just tell me about that. Okay, cool. I will take it. So identity is something that representation of yourself and who you claim to be and who you are, right? So we have different identities, like we recognize by our name, uh, from which region we are from, or our ethnicity, and many more things which with that, right? So it's basically a representation of yourself with some kind of a name or something like that, right? So in real life, we do have a lot of identities, right? We do have our national IDs like Aadhaar ID and social IDs, and of course the passport also. So we can go with that anywhere in the nation, and we can uh, just show our identity, that prove our identity. We are citizens of this country, and on internet we can prove that through these social IDs, that who we are, right? Uh, and through the passport we can go anywhere across the globe. Uh, so the identity is, to me, is representation of ourselves, which represents some qualities, represents some properties of ourselves, uh, and something like that, right? So, and the real life identities that we have, like passport or the national IDs that we use, these are contextual identities, right? and we use these identities in different contexts, right? While going to the airport, we use passport only, and for at hospitals or for buying SIM cards, we use prescription and our Aadhaar ID, right? We often don't use our passport for buying SIM cards, right? We don't do that. We just show our Aadhaar ID and we get the SIM card. So these are the context, and what I'm trying to say is that our identity changes according to the context. So let's say I'm here, I'm talking with you, I'm a developer, so my identity is as a developer, right? Uh, when I go home, I become a son or I become a family member, right? So then my identity changes. So again, let's say I go to the college or my or student to meet, or let's say company, again become developer. As you can you are a student, you have different identity uh, in your college, right? And then same like what I have told you, right? So our identity changes uh, where we stand, where we talk, and according to the context of according to the situation, we represent ourselves. So like we do have other identities also. Like on internet, we represent ourselves through the social medias, and we do have different identifiers for that. So the difference between the identifiers and the identity is that identifiers are we get from various service providers. So now onwards we talk about the internet identity, because we are in digital era, and uh, we know that our digital identity, how much it's the importance of that, right? So the 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 service providers actually provide some identifier to us. For example, the email, the phone number, or the usernames, the Facebook ID, the Twitter ID, or something like that. So we do have a lot of service providers who provide the identity to us. I mean identifier to us, and through that we can interact with each other. So I can give my email address to anyone. They can reach out to me. I can give phone number. They can reach out to me, and likewise with other identifiers, right? So wherever we go, we use those identifiers for logging, for any using any services. To use those services, we use these identifiers, right? But have you ever think that these identifiers on the internet are contextual? Like what I said in previous slide, that these identifiers are contextual, right? While going to the airport, we only show the passport, right? We only show the prescription in the hospital, or we show our national ID for buying SIM cards. But this is not happening with the uh, identity on internet, right? We use one single identifier to access all the services across the internet. So for basically we use Google Gmail to log in anywhere, sign in with the Google, sign in with the Facebook, sign in with the Twitter, or something like that. So we use one single identifier to access all the information, access all the services across the internet, right? And which is not contextual, right? And in the contextual side, we feel really safe, right? I no need to take my passport to the hospital, right? Because that's not necessary, right? And that makes sense, right? But this is not happening with the internet, or the identities on the internet. So we don't have any contextual identifiers on the internet, right? We don't have any specific purpose identifier. Through that purpose only, I use those identifiers. We don't have that restriction and something like that. We use one single identifier everywhere, right? So and these identifiers defines our existence on the internet, right? So my Gmail, my email ID is actually defining my existence on the internet. My Twitter ID, or the Twitter account, actually defining my existence on the internet. My GitHub, my YouTube, and any of these social IDs are actually defining some existence on the internet, right? So, but the problem with this that really is we do not control these identifiers as a holders, as a individuals. We do not have the control of these identifiers. So first thing first is that these identifiers are provided by someone else, right? Through these identity providers or service providers we call. So Facebook provides some identity identifier to me, Twitter provides some identifier to me, Gmail, which act as an email service provider. So there are a lot of email service providers, Yahoo, and a lot of email service providers are there. So they provide the uh, you know those services to the peoples, right? And they provide the identifier. They issue the identifiers to the peoples, right? And we don't own that. We don't have any control, and we just accessing those things with the internet, right? So this is really I feel unsafe that the identity that I'm showing is controlled by someone else, right? So what actually problems lead this to on the internet by the control is actually taken by the identity providers, and what problems we are facing as a holder, as an individual. Uh, so the problem is that we do not have control, and uh, where we can use our credentials, we don't have any control on our identities, right? And second thing is that we don't have any privacy, right? We actually use the single sign-on, like sign in with Google everywhere, and every time we go somewhere, these identity providers get to know that where we are going, where we are, signing in and doing a lot of things. And of course, the data leakage, because we are sharing a lot of information about ourselves. So if someone asking about Aadhaar credentials and all, or let's say some KYC on the internet, like any KYC you can take. So we don't share only required information. We share entire thing to them, right? So and logging on these other websites with the single sign-on, like Google sign-in or Twitter sign-in, we actually don't know that whether they're sharing the email ID only or the entire details of our profile, because these profiles have containing a lot of information about ourselves. So the things like that they can, we share more information, and then which is not necessary for them, which not need for them. So that leads to have the data leakages and all. So and these identities are not verifiable. So if I show my Aadhaar identity to someone, like I was searching for the house in May. I got a pretty house, nice house here in Bangalore, but I was searching house, and when I got the house, actually my landlord asked me the show some proof, or that usually asked by any landlord, right? So I shared my Aadhaar ID, and he just take a look, and he just given back to me. So and I just take a copy of that. So, but he never verified that, and no one verifies this, right? In real life also, we don't verify these identities, right? Only platforms have the KYC kind of thing. So individuals cannot, not able to verify those things. So I can create a number of my Aadhaar IDs and all, and I can go with that to anyone, and I can just uh, I can do the frauds and all. So that actually is the problem, that these identities are not verifiable, right? It is not independently verifiable by someone else or who is asking to you. Uh, so the problem on the social IDs I was talking about is the mixture of the identifiers and the credentials. So if you take a look around your social IDs or social accounts like Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, apart from email addresses and phone numbers, they have a lot of information about ourselves, right? They do have date of birth, they have address and phone number. Phone number is also a private thing, and email address is also a private thing, but we use that everywhere. And a lot of things they know about ourselves. So first of all, these two things are mixed, right? The identifier and the credentials are mixed thing. So the problem is, next we when we the discussing the problem that the identity provider actually has to do a lot of things, and it has a lot of pressure, right? So he's providing the identifier, right? He's holding the data, and he's itself the verifying, right? So let's say I'm going to use some services. So let's say I'm using any XYZ platform, and I use the login with some XYZ, let's say login with Google or login with the Facebook. Then he has to do a lot of things because he actually holds our own data, right? And he actually verified that. So the problem is that every time you go and sign in with these identity providers, they actually we need to call them, right? We need these service providers call the those identity providers and verify. So there is a risk, and a lot of risk and huge responsibility on this identity provider, right? Because he has to manage a lot of things. He has to hold the data. He has to issue the things. He has to verify the things. And here we are only, we don't have any role here. Actually, we are a user here, right? So so we need to distribute this kind of responsibility to each one of the in the triangle. So we call it as a it provider and issuer and holder and service provider or verifier model, where three of them have the different responsibilities, and they're carrying their different responsibilities and do the work in secure way. So we're desperately looking for the user-centric model. We need a model where the data is controlled by the user, not by the entities, not by the organizations, not by the identity providers, right? We control our own identity, we control our own credentials, and wherever we go, we just show them, right? So to so is there any way to do that? Like, is there any framework or any system, any technology through which we can achieve all these things? So yeah, there is a way we can. It's called as a SSI for short. We call it as a self-sovereign identity, and it's a framework to for the digital identity on the internet. So it actually gives a full control of their identity and the personal data, and which actually makes the interaction digitally in privacy preserving mode and secure mode and trustworthy mode, right? So let's explore the what SSI is and all. So yeah, so SSI represents the shift in responsibility. So we already discussed that these identity providers, these entities, has a lot of uh, responsibilities, right? They have to do issuing the issuance of those identities or identifiers. They has to do verification. They need to hold the data also on their side. So it becomes a user, not a user-centric model. It's a centralized model which has entire control of our identity, right? Uh, where in self-sovereign identity or in self-sovereign model, we actually user is in the center, and he chooses to actually to whom I need to share the data, right? It has a full control of their data, and he has full control of their identity. So but how it works, like what are the things here to tell us that how really it works is that we have the issuer, holder, and verifier model. So issuer has a responsibility to only issue the credentials, right? Holder has as we are holders or individuals has a responsibility to only hold the credentials, like accept the credentials from the issuer and hold the credentials in the wallet, and share the credentials to the verifier, whoever is asking for that, right? And we are using the blockchain here for a few reasons, because blockchains are immutable. Okay, oops. Okay, blockchains are immutable. There are public and private blockchains too. And why we are using blockchain here? Why there is a need of blockchain? Like why we go with the centralized servers and centralized databases? You know, I will tell the reasons for that. And so basically, how it works is that issuer only issue the credentials, holder accept those credentials in the wallet, and he presents the credentials to whoever is asking for them, and verifier can verify those things independently. So the way it works is that the blockchain is actually a distributed trusted ledger, right? So let's say what blockchain is. The blockchain is a distributed, trusted, and single source of truth. So what actually means single source of truth is that once you upload some kind of information on blockchain, it actually immutable. You cannot change it again, right? So whenever you want to add one more thing, you need to entirely update the state of the blockchain, right? So because blockchains are immutable, these are the most trusted system. So a lot of people say that blockchain is a trustless system and all, but I believe that blockchain is a very trusted system than any other, because the philosophy behind the blockchain is the distribution of trust, right? In normal centralized systems, we actually trust on one person, let's say on the bank, right? We trust on the bank, and we actually and our transactions are actually handled by the banks, right? And they know all the things about us. They know bank balance and a lot of things about us, right? So we are actually trusting on one single entity to do all those transactions, right? But in the blockchain, we don't have one single person to trust. We have a lot of people to trust. So blockchain is not run by any single node, or we call it actually node in technical terms, or as a validators also, who validate the transactions that we are doing on the blockchain. So these peoples are anonymous, like they don't have any specific identity, so we cannot influence them either, right? So whenever, let's say, take the example of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is one of the blockchain, uh, and the cryptocurrency is one of the use case of the blockchain. So whenever we do transactions on Bitcoin, we are actually trusting on a lot of peoples, right? There are actually more than 16,000 nodes who are active in the Bitcoin network, or more than that. I don't know. I don't have an updated idea, uh, but there are a lot of nodes and validators are there. So you're not, whenever you do transactions on these blockchains, you're not trusting on one single person. You're trusting on entire peoples, or whoever is the part of that network. So it means that you are distributing your trust on many peoples. You are actually giving equal opportunity to entire network, that you can, okay, you can validate my transaction, you can mine the block, you can add it to the chain, and there we go with the distributed trust, right? So that's why I say that it is a most distributed and trusted system, right? And the way it works, as there are blocks where we all these transactions get into that, and it actually becomes a chain. So let's say this is a one block mined by one node, and it has some lot of transactions today, uh, you know and it actually, when next block is going to add, actually the hashing of this block is going to take place, and add it and connect to the next block. So here are some cryptographic things. What action hashing means is, like, if you provide some determine, like, one information, like one text, then it going to provide the uh, encrypted hash of that. So you often see that in WhatsApp, that we have the data is encrypted, the communication is encrypted end to end. So that's the cryptographic algorithm the blockchain uses, and that's what it makes immutable. Once you have the chain, like block chains of the blocks, then no one can change this block, because if this block is going to be changed, then the data is going to be changed, the hash is going to be changed, and the next all the blocks are going to be invalid, right? So in this way, the blockchain works, and that's how it is immutable. And this is accessible all time, right? I see that what bank I'm using, it actually goes down sometime. So servers are goes down because they are centralized, right? But blockchain goes never goes down because a lot of people are running, no single person running that. And since a lot of people are running this network, so it actually has a lot of less chances to uh, go down. So that's how we take a look at this blockchain as a single source of truth and most trusted system. So why SSI? Why and what kind of problems it solves, right? So SSI solves that control. First, we need to control the data, right? We need to control our identity first. Then we can talk about privacy later on. If you don't have control itself, we cannot talk about about the privacy or the data sharing and the user centric systems, right? So first thing first, we need to have the control of our identity, and we can choose what to share with whom, right? And to what extent. So that things can be solved by the SSI. So next thing is portability. So we can move data from any devices or any services to another services. Right now we don't have any kind of portability options for that. So you cannot use my that data in other services, which makes portability. We have to use their services like single sign-on and something like that, right? But out of that context, we cannot use those things. Uh, and the privacy things, we actually don't have that selective disclosure thing. So selective disclosure is something like let's say I have two three credentials with me. Let's say uh, I have the email credentials, right? Or I have the credentials given by Aadhaar. So I cannot share my one attribute in that credential to someone else. Right? We often show our entire Aadhaar ID to the person who is asking for that. And that's how we end up with a lot of information, extra information sharing, which is not necessary for that, right? And so in this SSI model, we actually have the selective disclosure. So you can choose those attributes and you can share those on your own, right? And since this is a user-centric model, there is a no correlation between the retailer, that means the service provider, and the government. Not the government. Let's say on any identity issuer or the government itself. So whenever you go with the credential with the retailer, he has not to necessarily call the government and check your verification and do the verification, right? And of course, zero knowledge proof. Yeah. So zero knowledge proof is one of the upcoming concepts, and I'm really passionate about that also because zero knowledge proof is something like, let's say I want to share that I'm above 18 only, right? So if someone is asking about you to you that whether you're above 18 or not, they just want to know that whether you're above 18 or not, right? And we end up with sharing our entire document, right? Our date of birth and all. But they just want to know that, okay, if it's fine if you're above 18, right? They just want the true false statement from you. But there is no way to do something like I can have the age credential in my with me and I can show them the proof, right? So zero knowledge proof actually tells about us that you can still prove something without revealing the information that you have, right? So that's how the zero knowledge proof is. The next thing SSI actually allows us to do is composability. Composability is something you can compose multiple kind of credentials in one request and you can send to the verifier. So multiple credentials can be shared uh, by combining, and this improve the UX. Like you don't have to do a 2-3 times sharing of your credentials. You just in one request you can share whatever data you have, right? And of course it improves the UX and reduces the onboarding onboarding process, because onboarding process is one of the tedious tasks for the peoples, and that's why they get rid of those services because of that. So it actually reduces the onboarding time. It actually reduces the data breaches because we have distributed the responsibilities. If you go back in the slide, we have distributed the responsibilities of the issuer, of the holder, and with the verifier, right? So because of this 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 like they have their own responsibilities, and they're able to carry those things only, right? They don't have to do a verification, right? So there we go with the, we can reduce the potential data breaches and all, and there's a no single point of failure because they have independent responsibilities of each other. So yeah, there we go with the security tool. So interoperability is one of the question that we have a lot of interoperability problem, that meaning that our mobile data is not shareable with the desktop or something like that. So SSI is not like that. It's a standardized. Actually, SSI is a web standard, we can call it as, and because it is a standardized, meaning that everyone can use those standardized model. So there is a no need to have their own perspective of, or own definition of the identity. So and this is not a vendor locking system where you lock your credential in some device and you're not able to get that. So if they're using SSI, you can, if everyone is using SSI, then no, there is a no vendor locking of that, and everyone goes with the uh, interoperability with the data. So right now we got to know that okay, what problem is identity and the current identity problem. We got to know also that what SSI is and what actually it solves and how it looks like in a nutshell. Now we need to take a deep dive into the SSI building blocks. So what actually makes it possible a user-centric model, and what are the pillars of this or blocks of this? You can call it as anything. So before we go with the building blocks of the SSI, I just need to ask you that anyone have the question on the topic that we discussed yet? Uh, okay, fine. You can just use the reactions also to the Google Meet and let me know that. So okay, so the building blocks of SSI is decentralized identifiers, schema, verifiable credentials, verifiable presentation, zero knowledge proof, and encrypted data vault, right? So what we take a look one by one with this decentralized identifiers, what it means, and schema and all. So decentralized identifiers are the identifiers which are uniquely and globally available and cryptographically verifiable. So I already told you about identifiers, what identifier means, right? The email addresses, the phone numbers are kind of identifiers, which can, represent our identity, right? Or piece of, information about ourselves, or which can point out to that information about ourselves. So DIDs are like, unique, uniform resource identifiers. There, you can call it as a URI, and how like email is also URI, and the DIDs are one kind of a URI only, right? And these are not controlled by any entities because these are not created by those entities. So in centralized systems or in normal identity system that we currently using, actually those identity providers create or identify. So email address is not created by me, actually is given to me, right? Or the phone number is given to me. So let's say if I stop recharging my phone number, then I lose all access to my uh, services or the bank, because it mostly related, it's connected to the bank, right? Bank account. So uh, That's what I'm saying. We need to create the identifier on our own so that we can control that, right? And DIDs allow that. You can create your own identifier. You can store it yourself or store it on the blockchain. And if you are creating itself, then definitely you have a control on that, right? So DIDs are created by yourself as an individual. These are stored on blockchain. So why we store it on blockchain is because to resolve that DID later on. So let's say you represent the DID and to services so that they can resolve that DID with a DID document. So I will explain what DID document is in the next slide. And it is associated with a cryptographic key pair. So if you know about the public key and private keys, so actually with those two key pairs, actually we generate the DIDs, right? So DID is identifier, and it is associated with the cryptographic key pair and store it on blockchain. It is optional also. You can store it as a private if you don't want, and 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 that's how you can deactivate those DIDs also, right? So what actually did document is that. Before that, I just so our practical is starting now. So with the wallet, that the link I have shared with you is something like this, right? So just you need to go on the identity wallet and just you need to you know do the signing up with this. So you can create a wallet, identity wallet. There you can create a DID, and we can go ahead with the workshop. So I really want you to create the wallet so that you can create the DID and you can continue the workshop. So if anyone facing the issue, you can let me know here in the chat. Is everything fine? Like, let me try it with you, that I can create my wallet. Let me go to the fire. So you just need to go here. This is the wallet, identity wallet we use. So for simplicity, we are using like Google, because a lot of people are using Google. Now you have a lot of questions that why we are using Google and all, but a lot of people use this, and I will tell you why we are using Google later on the session. So you need to accept these credentials in the wallet. You need to have the password also, that you can take a backup later on. We don't store the password, so make sure to uh, remember the password. Okay, just confirm this. Okay, so I think you can say to me here if you are doing till this. Have you created the wallet and are you seeing this interface? Just raise your hand or do some kind of reaction here. Okay, nice car, nice Nikita. Hey Vinayak, nice. Karthikeyan, Ganesh, Shreya, Shreyas. Okay, cool. Thanks, Sandeep. Okay, cool. So now you have created the DID for yourself. So basically, this is the DID. This is the identifier you created yourself. This is not given by someone else, not by hypersign or not someone else. This is actually offline, created by yourself only in the in the browser wallet. So we call it as a browser wallet or a web wallet. So wallets are something like you can consider your PhonePe wallet, right? In the PhonePe wallet, you manage a lot of UPI IDs. So you can consider, you can create a lot of DIDs, which means identifiers, in one wallet, and you can manage all those identifiers, your credentials in the wallet, right? So it has this kind of interface. Now I want to ask you, because this is the crypto wallet now, like crypto plus identity wallet. It needs some balance into to interact with the blockchain, right? So whatever blockchain we are using right now, it's a test net. It's not. It is not a main network, which means that it not uses the real currency for transaction. It uses actually the test network currency, which is available for testing. So I request everyone to join the Telegram first here, so that you can drop the your wallet addresses there. So with this, you can join the Telegram channel, and there you can drop the wallet addresses, so that we can give uh, the tokens to you to interact further, you know, with the work to the workshop. So you can just copy this. Go to the transfer first, copy this wallet address, come back on the Telegram channel that you're trying to join, and just drop your address there. So I hope everything is fine with the Telegram join. Anyone facing issue joining or something like that? Okay, actually you have the link here. Let me share here again. So in the link, there is a join our Hack DID developer group. So this is basically a developer group for to interact with our developers and all. So there you can drop the your wallet address, and you can uh, we can actually issue some tokens to you to your wallet. So if you have any queries, you can ask here. You can raise your hand also. If still you're facing the issue, let me take a few minutes, like few seconds to just wait. Or else you can drop here also if you're not like if you're facing issue to join the Telegram, you can just in the chat you can drop your wallet addresses. So without faucet, you cannot do the further things. So that's why. I want you to do the RSVP also, because at the end we are going to do we are issuing the credentials, like certificates we call it as, for completion of this workshop. So for that I need your DID and all. So that's why I'm asking to for this form. If any issue, then you can drop the link here also in the chat, in the Google Meet chat, so that here itself we can hear. Okay, 2 more minutes we wait for I just want to ask how many people joined with the laptop. Just raise your hand again. Okay, so I think you can do easily that with the laptop. Like there is no difficulty. I think join the Telegram, or just drop the link here of your wallet address. You can go in the transfer, you can copy this, and you can just send it to us. I think it's quite difficult. Like I'm sharing the screen and you're doing the practical also. So it's like you have splitted the screen like this. So I can understand that. Just let me know if you're facing some issue here. I will wait 2 more minutes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we have sent token to Vinayaka and Shreyas. If they can confirm it.
Okay, okay. Just refresh your, the page. Let me send myself also because I have just created wallet. So two tokens, let's say, which is not one token is enough for the entire workshop. So that's fine. So if I refresh now with the wallet, I actually got the 2 tokens. Once you receive the token, please. Okay. Please refresh the page. If you are not able to join the Telegram, you can just drop here your wallet address in the chat. So we don't want to, consume a lot of time, in the chat itself you can paste. Okay, that's enough. That 2 tokens also enough. Like 1 token is also enough for entire workshop. So no worries about that. Okay, cool. Then we can go ahead. If you are facing any issue, then later on we can know that with the uh, with Q&A. So now you have created the wallet. Now I just want to ask you that now you have created the DID, and now the point was that you need to register the DID on blockchain, right? Because to make it work after that, you just need to register. If you go here in DIDs, it is actually private right now, which means that it is not registered anywhere on the internet. So this is the basically wallet, web wallet, which is native to user browser. And now you can go, because you have balance now, you can go and register that. So just register on that and just confirm this. So it actually make a transaction on blockchain and it register your DID on the chain. Right. So DID is registered successfully. Guys, please let me know if you are able to register that or not. Just raise your hand or do kind of some, let me know just in whatever way. So now it is public now because I've registered it on the chain. just need to go here and just click. It was private before. Just click on that and just go ahead with the registration. So this is the identity wallet. Basically, I was saying. Um, okay, thanks, Reyes. Nice. Okay, fine. Now it has, because this is the wallet, which can have a lot of TIDs if you add that, and it has the balance also to interact further with the blockchain. It has a profile where you can have the name and the email. It has a credential also. So credentials are this, the email credential is right now, when I sign up with the wallet, with the Google, actually Google gives some credential about me, right? Who I am and something like that. So it basically gives me the email address and my name, right? So why we use Google is because a lot of people are using, Google accounts, and to onboard the users with the wallet, once they onboard on the wallet, we don't need next time to call the service provider. We just use the credentials stored in the wallet itself, so that the dependency that I was talking about in the diagram, if you are able to see, uh, if you're able to see the slides, the dependency I was talking about with the service provider and the identity provider, it actually cut down, right? Because user itself or the holder itself showing the credentials to the service provider, and independently he can verify that, right? So this is uh, the way of SSI works, right? So now we have created the DID on ourselves. We registered it on ourselves. Now we have full control of this DID. So we can go ahead with the next thing. So in the form that I have shared, you can go with the SSI. Uh, you can learn SSI through the Entity Studio. So Entity Studio is one of the tools that we have made to understanding all these concepts, right? So before that, I just need to make sure that concepts that till here we completed, right? The identifiers, right? So now going further, coming back to the theory part of something like that, we have this did document. So this DID is actually has a did document. Whenever you register the DID on the blockchain, actually you can see the did document here. So let's say you can copy this DID, and you can open the Explorer. Let's say Explorer. Uh, okay, I'm showing the wrong screen, I think. Okay, again, you can use this browser also. You can go with the Explorer. The Explorer is identity blockchain. Let me share the link of that also. You can go to this Explorer. Here I can open that. So in the identity tab at the last, in the left sidebar, you can open the identity. So here you can see a lot of DIDs are registered, right? So you can pick up your DID address on the from the wallet, and you can search it here. So yes, so this is the did document, which actually tells about the identity, like what actually this DID means to me, right? So it has a different kind of basically it's a JSON object which contains some information about us, right? Information about the identifier what can do. So what actually capabilities, to whom have the capabilities have to resolve this DID, or do some kind of stuff with the DID. We can mention that in the DID. So if you see here, the metadata of this did document is uh, deactivated false, means right now it is not deactivated, meaning that why I was saying about we have full control of our identifier, right? Anytime you can disassociate that identifier with anyone. So if you make uh, you know uh, deactivate this DID, then actually you're deactivating, you're controlling that DID, because every time oftentimes we see that we are not controlling the DID, right? Identity, I mean. So because we created our own DID, we registered it on our own, and now because of that reason, we have a full control of that. So we can deactivate also anytime with the services. So coming back to the slides. So DID is actually it has a public key, right? And a lot of information about what DID can do. So actually, holder create the DID, controls the DID, resolve that to a DID document when he registers that, and actually this DID document tells something about the holder. So that's the purpose of this DID document we have in the SSI, right? So next thing we are going to do is the schema. So whenever we interact with the any services, we share some kind of credentials, right? In terms of let's say we have a university certificate. So university certificate has a few attributes, right? It has a name, it has your name, your college name, your enrollment number, date of birth, and which stream from you are, like CSC and computer science, electronics and all. So it has actually a specific schema. It has actually a specific format, right? Like any interaction you do on digital platforms, you share some kind of credentials. They have some kind of format, right? So in that format, they actually define some data to you or given data to you, right? So the schema is actually important to have the credentials, right? The schema is predefined structure of a specific which specifies the data attributes or the properties of the verifiable credentials. Now I will tell about you what verifiable credential is and all. So we can go with that. We can have the so schema is actually look like this also, like DID, and this is the method name. The SCH is the method name, and the testnet. So testnet is actually the blockchain we are using. So we need to register this schema also to interact with for the further, right? So we go and we just create one schema, right? So in the you can go here in the entity studio. So I was telling that entity studio is let me share this. Yeah, I have a couple of two screens I open. Okay. So here I can open the entity studio, which is one of the tool to understand the entire SSI. So you can log in here, and now you can see we are not using any third-party thing. We are using only our own wallet. So from the wallet, actually, you can assume the the potential of SSI here, that this is some kind of a third-party website asking me some kind of information. So the party is actually want some email credentials. Now these credentials are actually from my wallet, not from any service provider, right, or identity provider. So I authorize that. So it basically a peer-to-peer interaction in that manner. So I hope you guys are all on the with me. So if someone lost the the link, I will share here again. Okay, oops. Let me share here itself. And go ahead and just do the login there. So we can go ahead with the workshop. So let me know when you log in on the Entity Studio. Okay, Vinayak has done. Karthikeyan. Kshitija has done. Meenakshi has done. Okay, guys. I hope you are here. So this is the entity studio where you can do you can understand what SSI actually, how it actually works. So you can go with the SSI playground. So playground is something like understanding the technology. So that's why we call it as a playground, right? So now we have the things like this. We have university to issue the credentials, to issue the certificates, right? So for that, we need to create an organization, right? And the meaning that organization is, let me try the let me tell you in a while. So let's say university, you can give any name, okay, and don't change the domain here. Keep it as it is. Just name it what you want, right? University, I named it, and now it actually registering the DID on the chain. So we use the wallet itself to interact with any application. So now it registered. So you can see the DID here, right? This DID means the university also has the DID. So DIDs doesn't mean that the only humans can have. DIDs are actually can given to anyone. Like organizations can have DIDs. Like any entities, like any pen also has can DID and a lot of things. But these are controlled by humans because that makes sense, right? So right now you are seeing that the DID is created, and you can see that it is actually registered is also on the chain, right? So once you do the create the DID as a university, right? So this is a one-stop tool. The Entity Studio is a one-stop tool to understand the whole SSI. So here you are the issuer, you are the holder, and you are the verifier, right? So that's how it is. So you can switch here by clicking here. You can switch here, and the first tab you go in the credential itself, right? So here the UI is looking like this. You have a dashboard where you can create a multiple organizations. You can have the credential tab, you can have the schema, you have the presentation. Also, I will tell one by one how it works, right? So now we want to issue some credentials or the certificate to the students, right? So for that, what we need a schema first. In what format you're going to issue the credentials to the students, that format we need, right? Let's say the format has some kind of name, date of birth, college name, what rank you have, and a lot of things that we see in the certificate. So we need to create the schema first, right? So we can create the schema. You can either go directly in the schema tab, or here if you haven't created, then it actually send back to the schema tab itself, right? So for creating we just create a university schema, name it as any kind of university schema. It's a degree schema, right? And the description of that is like the schema of degree certificate. Okay, and now it has a different. Okay, let me start it. It helps me a lot. Okay, so now you're creating a structure of the schema, right? I mean the credential for that you need a schema, and now you want to add some attributes there, right? Our certificates has the name, date of birth, and a lot of attributes. So we create those attributes here. We just like name. This should be a camel case. If you want to give a first name, type like this. This is the camel case, and we can choose the kind of thing like data type it has. What kind of data type it has. So we can do a string here required. Let's say last name, and we can import that a roll number. Let's say it should be a number. So roll number is that. Let's say the rank or the, let's say we call it the CGPA, right? So CGPA is something, the point value. So we basically do as a number, right? Something like this. So I think these four things are for me right now. It's okay, and you can add number of attributes here if you want, but I need only 4 to 5. Something. That's enough, right? So we save it, and now this schema is going to register on the chain. So yeah, we done the transaction, and the schema is registered. It has a property first name, last name, roll number, and CGPA, right? And it has a schema ID, so you can take a look on the block, Explorer. So Explorer is something like whatever is happening on the blockchain, it actually the visualization of that. So it says that the name of the schema is university degree. It has a different properties, uh, roll number, CGPA, and all, and a lot of things. So we created the DID, we created the schema right now, and now it's time to issue the credentials, right? So before that, what actually credential means, I will tell you. So coming back to the slides again. So if you take a look at now your schema on the Explorer, it actually look like this, right? It has name, it has a lot of things, and the main part we are searching for these properties, right? Because these properties actually define that whole structure, right? So we actually created the schema, and it actually resolves. So with the schema ID, anyone can go on the blockchain and I can get to know that, okay, this is the schema for issuing this credential, so that they can use that same schema for issuing the credential. Right? Schemas are basically a public, public format. Basically, you can keep it as a private also, but basically, generally, it's a public thing, right? So anyone can use that schema for issuing the credentials, right? It's just a format of what data attributes require or include in the credential. Okay, fine. Then we can go ahead with the credential right now. So verifiable credentials are the representation of the data which is tamper-proof and the cryptographically verifiable. So now the way we interact with the systems right now is just because we don't have control of our identity, we don't have control of our credentials. We actually the system actually verify itself, right? We don't provide any kind of credentials from our side for accessing the information. So verifiable credentials are the credentials which are independently verifiable, meaning that why I'm calling the verifiable word and not only the credential is because these credentials are verifiable, meaning that if you take a look around here, while we were logging on the entity which uses the wallet itself, which uses the wallet and which actually asks for the email credentials. So it asks for the email credentials, and we give the email credentials to the entity studio, which is you can consider as a website or any other website or service provider. Now, it actually it is not calling actually any external identity provider because the data is actually in control of the wallet of the user, right? So we can actually as holder, I can provide my credentials on my own to the entity studio, and we can just verify that, right? So it's a peer-to-peer, and the data is independently verifiable, right? But in the cryptographical ways, and that's why the holder is actually not relying, the verifier is actually not relying on the issuer, right? So how it works is that issuer actually issue the credentials to holder. Let's say wallet actually any issuer like Aadhaar issue some credentials to me, and now I'm going to do access some information about uh, uh, from the website. So I need to provide those credentials to that service, right? So I can just show the credential issued to me, in the wallet to them, and they can verify that. And basically, there no need to require the call the Aadhaar server, right, or any identity provider for that. Uh, so how it works is that the way of presenting this data is private. So I'm privately verifying privately representing my data, my credentials to that service, because there is a no third party involved. We just the interaction with the wallet and the service provider. So it is actually private in nature. It is not stored on the blockchain, and it is actually linked to with the DID, right? And the issue, and it is issued by trusted someone. Like if you trust on someone, then definitely we only go with that. Otherwise, we don't go with the untrusted providers. So it is actually trusted issue. It is issued by some trusted provider. Uh, Whenever they issue something to us, they actually make a transaction on blockchain, and they update the status of the credential, not the credential. They only issue the credentials to the holder, and they update the status on the chain, right? So that's how it is. The point is, the VC status is stored on the blockchain by issuer. So later on, they can revoke that, because credentials can be revocable, right? Let's say you're working in some company, and you go to the another company, and because you're working before that company, they issued some kind of credentials to you to access the their services. Now you are no longer to access those services, because you are no longer part of that organization or something like that. So basically, credentials can be revocable, right? But the identifiers are not like revocable, because identifier we create identifier on our own, right? And we control that. But credentials are actually issued by someone else to us, right? And they have the ability also to revoke that, right? Now, once they issue credentials to me, like as a holder, I can keep those things in my wallet. Let's say in this wallet, right? Now, I can store it in my wallet and in the vault also, whatever I'm trusting on. So there are vaults also, like encrypted data vault also, where we can store that credentials and a lot of things. But now we can take a look on the wallet itself, right? And services can independently verify that VC. Then no need to call the issuer to verify those credentials, right? So that's how it is verifiable. We call it as a verifiable credential. So let's assume that university, some issue certificate to you, to the student, right? So student can hold those credentials in the wallet, and they can present those credentials, present those certificates to the company that they are applying for job, right? So companies often ask the credentials, like give me your university certificate, or your let's say your college certificate, or something, any other certificate. So they no need to call the university for the verification, because you are providing yourself to the company. And since it is cryptographically verifiable, the data is not, they can check that data is not tampered on all. So there is no point to call this the issuer, which means the university, right? And when university issue the credentials to the user or the student, it actually make a transaction on a blockchain that we have issued this credential, the credential ID mean, not whole credentials, right? And they can update the status on that. Okay, this credential is alive, right? So that while verifying, to verify, do the two things only, right? He actually verifies that the credential I'm showing to the company is actually cryptographically, whether it is correct or not, like it is tampered, or they have changed something or not, right? And another thing is they can check the status of that VC, the verifiable credential, on the chain. So let's say after a while, university revoke my credential or something like that. Right? Basically, they don't revoke, but because they are certificates. But in general, I'm telling you that credentials are revocable, right? So let's say they revoke the credentials. So next time, whenever you go with those credentials, they can while checking the status, they will get to know that okay, these are the credentials are revoked, right? So I was telling you that employee example where you get the employee identity from the company where you're working, and let's say you go to the another company, you leave that company, and now you won't able to access the things which you used to before. So that time the company you were working before, they can revoke the credentials, and next time you won't be able to access those things, because that time verifier get to know that, okay, these credentials are revoked and not he's no longer able to access those things. So now we are going to do the practical thing. So I request you to again go to the entity studio. So how many people have created the schema? Just they can raise hand, and they can tell me in the chat. Okay. Okay, Vinayak. So yes. Okay, cool. We'll go ahead with the. So now you have created the university degree schema, I mean, and now you want to issue the credentials to yourself. I mean, to the students. So you are the university, you are the student, you are everyone here, right? So for that we need a DID. We need a student DID to issue the credentials to them. So what we can do is we copy our own DID. We can just paste it here, and now we can select the schema, right? So as a university, I can select the schema and I can issue the credentials to this DID, right? So let me select that. Now if you select that, then whatever attributes that we define before this, all attributes appear here. So my first name is Raj Patil, name, and roll number, I think that's 1024. CGPA I put it as a 9. And let's say and because the credentials have always the expiry, so this is the general purpose SSI, because here the credentials actually are revocable, but in this case with the university, I don't think the university can revoke the credential or something like that. So you can put any expiry here, let's say 31, and you can save it. Now university is issuing the credential to the respected DID with these attributes, right? So authorize, you can do authorization, and now university doing a transaction on blockchain, saying that this credential is issued to this person, and they update the only status on that. So I think there is a UI glitch here. You can go back and come again on the credential page. So the status is live now for the credential, whatever we have created right now or issued right now. You can go ahead here by clicking here, and you can go ahead with the Explorer. So here the credential status you are seeing, not the credentials, right? So it's live, and the reason for that and the proof of that, right? So next time, whenever you show the credentials to someone else, they get to know that, okay, this is live, so this is a valid credential, right? Now you issue the credentials, but we need to share those credentials with the person that we have, to whom we have issued. So we can share with the email also, but we thought that this is the bad way of credential sharing, because email has a lot of drawbacks in that way to share the credentials. So what we can do, since we are using the one tool only, we can just copy this. We can just click here, share. We can copy this, and we are the only the holder. We are the only issuer here. So that's why I just paste it here in the next tab, so that you can accept these credentials. So I think I'm accepting these credentials right now. So first name, last name, these things are issued by the university, right? So I'm going to accept this. And if I take a look around here again, then now the university degree credentials I have in my wallet. which has these data attributes, which has the VC ID also. So this is the credential ID we call verifiable credential identifier, and it has a type. It has again the schema, which the credential uses this schema, right? And which has the issuer DID, which is the DID of my only, because I have issued myself. So here, whoever the issuer is there, his DID is actually from here, and the issuance date and the expiry date. So now we can close this. Um, now, let me go back to the to the slides. So if anyone has you know got the issue, something related to while issuing, how many people have done the issuing part, like issuing credentials? They can issue like credentials like this. They can. I hope they have created the schema, and now you can just copy this DID from here and issue yourself, right? And just paste this in the link in the next tab, and you can accept that those credentials in the wallet itself. So I hope all people have, like most of the people have done. No worries if you are facing issue, just let me know what kind of issue you are facing. Okay, cool. You can go ahead with the presentation now. Let me go back to the slides. So now you got to know that, okay, university can issue the credentials to the students. Students can hold that in their wallet, and they can present their company to anyone, right? Now we need to verify that, right? Till now we have discussed about issuing, creating DID, issuing DID, like creating DID and registering it on DID on the chain, and creating the schema, issuing that credential with that schema, and accepting those credentials in the wallet. Now we want to present these credentials to someone else, right? To the company or anyone who is asking for that. So the examples of more examples on this is like whenever you have the event organizer, let's say you have an event in your college, and you want specific, like you want to give tickets to them, right? So you can just use this like verifiable credentials to give access to the peoples to get in, right? So event organizer can issue some event tickets to whoever want to participate in that, and the participant can show the credentials to the security guard, right? So that he can verify that. Now, the government also can. Another example is the government can also issue the business license to the online store, and if consumer wants to know about the whether you're holding the you know the license or not, they can ask, and the online store can provide the verifiable credential of business license, and they can go ahead with that, right? So, and another example is like like any organization, let's say. So this example actually tells about the zero knowledge proof, right? I was talking about zero knowledge proof as you can prove something without revealing some secret, right? So if you are above 18, you can still prove that you are above 18 without revealing your date of birth, right? Or else you can assume that, or you can imagine the example here, like you have an event organized in your college, and you want few colleges only participate in that, not all the colleges. So it's kind of example only, right? So the people from those colleges only can access the event, something like that. So you can provide the credentials to the students, right? That what kind of from which college they're belonging, and those students only can generate the zero knowledge proof for those credentials, not revealing from which college they are, but they can prove that, okay, I'm not from those colleges uh, which you are not accepting, right? So it's like that. So the zero knowledge proof has a lot of potential to, do, because we go ahead another step in the privacy mode, right? Right now we are we till now we are sharing the data, but right now we have a complete control of our data, right? We are actually we can still prove that okay, I'm part of this community, but I'm not able to because not able to not I'm actually what to say, um, I'm not going to tell you that I'm part of this. Like I can still prove that. You can understand whenever you go to any club or something, they ask that okay, you're above 18 or not, right? You need to show your Aadhaar credentials and all to prove you're above 18, right? And they don't require that. They just require you're above 18 or not, right? Or the here the college first only want to verify that you're not from this set of colleges, right? Or you're from this set of colleges. They don't want to know that okay, you're from UVCE or you're from any other colleges, but they just want to know that you're not apart from this college set of colleges. I hope you got this point, right? So zero knowledge proof, actually this is the mathematical proof that you can prove to someone on some condition that okay, I have a secret, I can prove that I have a secret, but I don't want to reveal that, right? So that's how it works with the zero knowledge proof. So these are the some possible use cases that I have shown to you, and now we want to go. We want to proceed with the identity wallet. So identity wallet looks like this, which has a lot of things. One identity wallet has a lot of identifiers, DIDs. I mean, decentralized identifiers. So how PhonePe works is you can create a lot of UPI IDs, right? So here also you can create a one wallet and you can have a lot of identifiers and DIDs, and you can use those DIDs for the different context, right? So initially I was talking about contextual identifiers, right? So I can use one identifier for the university only. I can use one identifier to access the uh, you know the e-commerce websites. I can use one identifier to access some other piece of services, right? So we can have a different identifiers, and we can control that. The first thing important is that we are controlling these identifiers, and since we are controlling these identifiers, we are able to control the credentials also, right? So we have a choice to to with whom we are sharing the data, right? I can choose that okay, I'm going to share the data with him, and to what extent also I'm going to share that also we can do. Now so let's say we have a lot of credentials here in my wallet. Let's say I have a driving license, Aadhaar credential, passport, or any other credentials. Like in my wallet right now, here some things are there. So anyone ask us about, like, let's say bank request us about some Aadhaar credentials. So I can choose my credentials from the wallet. I can share it with them, right? So this is how the identity wallet works. Identity wallet actually stores uh, the the information about yourself, the identifier, the credentials, something like that, and these wallet actually are controlled by the users or the holders who are using that, right? So the wallet, many kind of wallets. This is a mobile wallet. We do have also mobile wallet, but for example, for this workshop, we are using the uh, web wallet website, like, which actually works in that browser only, right? So that browser specific wallet we call it as. Now we have credentials in our wallet, right? We have our university credential in our wallet, and we want to show that to someone else to get verified. Now, how to verify that? Like, how to show that, right? So that's the verifiable presentation come into the picture. So let's say I have a university certificate and I have the college certificate also, and the company to which I'm applying actually asked me the both kind of credentials, right? So now I should have the way to represent the whole credentials in one request, and that's where I was talking about the composability, right? In the previous chat, not in the chat, in the slide. If I go here, I think here, yeah. So composability is something like we can combine those 2-3 credentials from the wallet, and we can show that in one request for a job or any application you want to apply, right? So let's create another schema for because this is the university degree. Let's create another schema for college also. So let me create college certificate. So you can also, guys, quickly follow me to cope up with the the workshop. Let me add the description. College degrees, not degree, but college certificate or something, any certificate, any achievement certificate, we would say. Yeah. Okay. Now name is there. I can add the name. Can add the roll number, let's say. Again, number. I can add any like any kind of other attributes. Let's say I'm not remembering what attributes I can add, but let's say class or something like that. Which class you are, like AD, like A, B, C, D, or something like that. So the stream, or let's say any related to, have you participated, like Boolean you can add also, like participated. If you are participated, then okay, something like that. So you can add Booleans also here, like true or false. You can name it as also, like if you're participating in some event, then only the college is going to give the certificate to. So we can call it as a college fest certificate. Right. And okay, these are fine enough for me. I think you can add anything if you want. So now again, the entity, this entity issuing some credentials to the student, right? This is authorizing, doing a transaction, updating the status of this VC on the blockchain. No, I think this is the schema. I'm sorry. Okay, so we have created the schema. I was missing that. Now, for that schema, we want to issue the credentials, right? So we can go ahead with again, copy the DID. We can paste it here. We can choose now 2 schemas that we have. We can choose the college fest certificate. Let's say, again, my name is Raj, number is 4, class is, let's say, B division or something, stream is CSE. Or here we can say whether he is participated on in that event or not. So actually participation, because the entity or the organizing committee knows that okay, he has participated in the fest or not, or something like that. So he can make true, and we can give the expiry also. After some time, it's not valid for those. So now we can issue that. Can authorize. Okay, so issued the credentials successfully. Go back and again come here on the credential. So now you can see the college fest verifiable credential status on the chain. Oh, okay, this is the schema. Okay. Okay, I was on the okay. Now this is the schema, right, which is live, and the status, of course, it's live because now just we have issued that. Now we need to provide that to the participant to accept that credential in the wallet. So we again go with the copy that and then just so we accept those credentials in the wallet. So you can see that here, those credentials are here, right? Now I can see I have 3 credentials: email, the university credential I accepted before, and the college fest certificate. So now I have a 2 credentials in my wallet, and I can apply for the job by combining those 2 credentials in one, and I can send it to the verifier. So these 2 tabs are actually at the verifier side. So any company or any something like that, they can do, but this is the one tool for understanding the whole SSI. We actually made it in the one interface. So you just need to understand what purpose it's serving and for what schema, who can issue schema, who can issue credentials, who can verify, who can create the presentation, all like that, right? Okay, cool. So I can just create. So for presentation, let me go back again to the slide with a verifiable presentation. Now, a verifiable presentation expresses the data from 1 or 2 verifiable credentials. So you can create one one credential which contains 2 internally credentials, and you can show as a 1 to the verifier, and you can go with that, right? You can access those services, or you can apply for the job if you want. So here we are doing that only. My wallet actually contains the university certificate and the college certificate, right? And the importance of this verifiable credential is the ownership is proven, because on your own you are preparing the document from your wallet. You're combining those 2 credentials in the one format, and you're showing to someone else. So you're selectively choosing what information to share. If they're asking one credential, then only you can share, you can send or you can share the 1 credential. If they're asking 2 or 3, you can combine 2 or 3 and share it once, right? Something like that. So that's how it is selectively disclosed. And one more way is there, that inside 1 credential also you can share that 1 data attribute that I was talking about. Like you can share, let's say, your name only from the degree certificate that you have, right? So no need to share the entire data, but you can share the one piece of attribute from the entire credential to the services. But right now, for the simplicity, we have the composition of different credentials, right? So that's why we're using different credentials in one, and we can sending to the verifier. Okay, so it is data can be shared in the zero knowledge, but zero knowledge is not integrated in the wallet till right now. So that's why, but I can share some knowledge on that later on, and we can share one one or more than 1 credentials in the one packed format, and that's how it is called as a verifiable presentation, right? So now let's create a verifiable presentation. So after issuing the credentials, just come here on the presentation tab, and now just name it as a request for it's a job credential, right? So job credential requires some two uh, 2 certificates or 2 credentials from your side. You can select the schema here. So I can select multiple schemas, right? You can select these multiple schemas that the presentation actually tells that they want 2 credentials from your wallet. One is a college fest credentials, and another one is a degree certificate you got from university, right? So the reason is anything like for application or job application, let's say. Okay, and don't change the URL and all. Just whatever the pre-filled informations are there, you just keep those things as it is. Those are not necessary to change. Now you can save it. Now the verifier has prepared the presentation to request the holder, okay, I need this kind of information from you and give me that. Okay. So since this is not a blockchain transaction, this is off-chain, like this is no need to do the like on-chain transaction for this, because presentation are kind of which can vary. So vary with the verifier. So they can take multiple schemas from the chain, and they can combine one presentation and they can ask. So this is not necessary to be registered on the blockchain, because each time they can change those the format of asking from the from the student, or uh, from the holder. So that's why this is not done on the blockchain level. It is done at the verifier level, right? So we have created the presentation. Now we go ahead with the verification, which is one of the most important part of this uh, entire workshop. So again, I have created one presentation only, so I can at the verification I can see one verifiable presentation thing, right? So I can now verifier can request the holder, okay, give me this kind of information, right? So here, either you can go with the with the mobile by scanning if you have the credentials in the wallet, or else you can go ahead with the present credential button, which actually trigger your web wallet. So now you're seeing that you have the university degree and you have the college fest certificate also, right? So you are actually providing the two credentials from your wallet to this verifier, which is a company or the job portal or something like that. So now you can authorize, and we can see that now, yeah, we go with that, right? The verifier actually got the information or the credentials he wants from yourself, from you, right? So he actually didn't call any issuer or any university or any college. He actually called your wallet, and from the wallet you represent, you share your data, you share your credentials with him, and he got all the credentials that he want, right? So that's how I was talking about, like the whole point of the data breaches or the excessive sharing of the data is like we can avoid that in this way. So further we can go with that also, like if I want to share the first name also, first name, or let's say last name, or let's say a roll number, or any piece of information from the university degree, then I can go with that also. But that's a selective disclosure of the data attributes from the verifiable credential. But we made as a selective disclosure of multiple credentials. So you can go ahead with that also, by you can selectively choose these information you want to share with that service, and you can share the few data attributes from the entire credential. So that's how it is. We just completed that. We started with the credentials, with the schema creation. Then we come to the credential issuance. Then we prepare the presentation template, and we verify that independently, not relying on any identity provider or any issuer or something like that. So I hope you are with me. So if anyone having the issue with the workshop till now, they can ask questions here. Let me check the deck that I have shared. So the identity wallet is containing a lot of things, right? The entire thing of identity. The credential part, I have multiple credentials. Let's say I have an Indian passport also, so that I can share my passport on my own, and it looks like this. So the entire summary of this workshop is like let's start from the what we actually discussed at the end, right? So holder, first of all, we went to the wallet, web wallet where we create, you sign up with Google and you create the wallet, and you register your DID. Your wallet, you actually created the DID in the wallet, and you register that on the blockchain. Uh, then after registering, you go to the issuer, like to the university, and university has to prepare the schema first of all, right? To issue some credentials, because that credential has some kind of a format uh, where they can issue that, right? So because of this dotted line, that means that you need not to be, uh, use your own schema. You can use other schema also, because that's why the schemas are public in nature in general, right? But here in the tool, why we made as mandatory, because we just want you to get well versed with the how you can create a schema also and all. But later on, we can enable that also. You can just provide the schema ID, and we can fetch those schemas, and you can issue the credential from that schema with those data attributes. So we generated the schema. We actually use those schema to issue the credentials, and we link that DID. Means we issue the verifiable credentials to that DID, to that student, right? So, and now the student has accepted that DID, and it is managed in his wallet, and he has a full control of that wallet, because that is a cryptographically public key, private key. So private key is stored on the holder side, and the public key is a public to anyone. So no worries about that. The big concern is the private key to store on your side. And whenever someone asks you about the credential, you just prepare the credential in one format, which is requested by the verifier, and you verify that verifiable presentation to the verifier, and they go with the verifier. So here we have the independent responsibilities of each player, where I was discussing about. So the university has the responsibility to just issue the credential, and student has the responsibility to, as a holder, he has responsibility to just hold those credentials in the wallet, and verifier has the responsibility to verify those, in their wallet from their side. So this is how the whole SSI works. Now, I just want to ask you that we done with the things, and well done who has done the workshop till end. But I need to ask you that, have you done the RSVP? Because if you've done the RSVP, then only we will get to know that, okay, because we need this DID from your side to issue the digital certificate to you, to your wallet, and you can have this certificate like this in your wallet, which is verifiable. So just go through this, join our Discord, join our Telegram for more. If you want to develop something and build some identity kind of things. So and go through this form, and just let us know if anything you want, any doubt you want from your side, and related to that. So yeah, so I just go to the presentation again. Okay, so reveal time is here. We have the hack DID, which is a decentralized identity hackathon. So you can participate here. We have full price for 16,000 USD. You can go here with the link. Let me share that link you in the chat. You can go ahead with this. You can check out the hack DID. I think. Okay, cool. So here you can get all information about the details of the the hackathon, the tracks, and we have the developer resources also. So that's why I'm asking you to join the Discord and all, because there we have a daily discussions. We have a developer group there. You can meet other developers, and we can have some good peer-to-peer interaction and peer learnings. So you can talk to any developer there who is working on DID. Since SSI and DID has a lot of potential in the identity or in any space, because uh, if you're saying identity is quite broken on the internet, that's why we need to fix that. So that's why we are actually proud to say that we are fixing some real-time problem, and this is kind of revolutionary, I would say, which has ever happened on the internet. So I hope you got the importance of SSI. So we use some tools from hypersign, but if you want to learn about the SSI, because SSI is a concept, uh, and we are making use of our tools to understand the concept. So anytime you can use the tools, these are the free tools you can use. You can reach out to us about the hackathon or anything related to the SSI concept, about the blockchain, about the identity, about Web3, anything related to the web standards and something related to that. So we actually love to have you our on our site. So yeah, and go through the hack DID. We have like a lot of huge pool prize also, and the hackers also you can see here. You can collaborate with them. A lot of hackers have joined. 36 hackers have joined it. So you can ask them. You can team up with anyone, or as a team you can join. You can build something. We'll give some grants also if the idea is very good, and of course you build something. So college time is the best time, I believe, to build something, because I built since I started learning from about the blockchain since my third year of engineering, and I'm just 2022 passed out. I built a lot of stuffs in my final engineering about in the Web3 and all. So I believe that was a really good time, because we don't have anything else apart from learning, and we can build a lot of stuff into that time, right? So go through the concepts, go to the resources. Here we have a lot of resources to learn, and let us know what you're facing issues or something like that. We have SDKs and APIs also to to implement SSI and something like that. So you can go ahead with that. Yeah, and thank you very much. Like I am just open up for the Q&A right now, so anyone can ask their questions. Uh, yeah. So I request everyone to whoever has doubts, they can unmute and they can ask freely here, or else they can type it in chat. Is anyone have the doubts or something like that? Let me know. When we do the RSVP, trying to do the RSVP, DIDC, invalid field. Where you are facing the issue, I'm not understanding. Just type your identifier here. Okay. Okay. I think this is some glitch from our side. I'm sorry for that. I will just update the. Let me check with the team, and I will update this. So, but keep remember this link. You can have the same link, and you can RSVP again for that, so that we can get to know that your DID, and you can issue your some certificate to you directly. Just I asked to Abhi or Gitanjali, just keep this link with yourself, and you can share that. Or else you can join the Telegram itself, where you can ask us directly in the Telegram channel. Okay. Sorry for the problem, Karthik. I think that is from our side. So we will fix that. Just keep this link with you, and we'll update to one of the team from someone from your team or from your side, or else just join the Telegram. I will update there itself from our side. Cool.
If there are any more doubts anyone has, can they please unmute or drop it down in the chat box?
Okay. I think.
So, thank you, Mr. Raj Patil, for that thought provoking and enlightening session. Your expertise has provided us with valuable insights into the world of blockchain and self sovereign identity. We do appreciate your time and knowledge. I would like to express my sincere gratitude for this session, and our attendees are greatly benefited from the valuable insights provided. As we come to the conclusion of this engaging workshop, I would like to invite Swapna to express our gratitude on behalf of all attendees. Over to you, Swapna.
Thank you, Geetanjali. It is my privilege to extend my gratitude to all of you for attending this event. It is with immense pleasure and deep appreciation that I acknowledge and support the presence of each and every one of you. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our speaker, Mr. Raj Patil. Your valuable time, knowledge, and experiences has given us a deeper insights about the topic. We would like to express our heartfelt thanks to all of you for being an incredible audience. Your presence and support have encouraged us and made this gathering truly memorable. Thank you for your valuable contributions and for being an integral part of this event. Once again, a heartfelt thanks to each and everyone present here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you everyone for. I really appreciate the crowd here who want to learn something about SSI and a lot of things about that. So if you want to reach out, you can. My DMs are open always on Twitter, on Telegram, anywhere you can join. You can ask. We're happy to help you there to understand the SSI and identity for all. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Swapna. We hope this session was a true guidance for you. So stay tuned for more such informative and interactive sessions from IEEE UVCE. So thank you to one and all present here.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.